Hey guys, Jen here with APPP Productions, and welcome to our YouTube channel. Today I'm so excited to be here with Summer Walters, who is the co-owner with her sister Kate of My Sister's House, which we're so happy that it's here in Abilene. We are continuing our series with makers and creators, but this time we're actually focusing on just some tips for having your own business. So tell us a little bit about like this event, what you guys offer, what it is exactly.
Okay. So we have 200 to 300 consigners per sale, and they bring in quality, gently used, upscale items, clothes, shoes, purses, jewelry, home goods, furniture, dishes, all kinds of things. And we rent out a building at the fairgrounds, the display building, so it's about 16,000 square feet, and we pack it.
Wow. Yeah, I've been to like as many of them as I can go to. It's packed.
It's fun. And the consigners get to price their items. We don't change the prices even if we think, well, that's a crazy good deal. So it's just kind of a fun, you never know what you're going to see, what you're going to find. We have dressing rooms so people can try things on. And
basically this is an event for, it seems like two audiences. If you wanted to consign, it's a moneymaker, plus you get to, you know, clean out your closet type thing, but then it's also just the people who want to come shop.
Yeah.
And it's about 90% off of the retail price.
Yeah. So some things are 60 to 90% off retail. Our consigners, again, set their own prices. The perk for the consigners is, you know, if you have nice things, people want to nickel and dime you at a garage sale for nice stuff.
Right.
But, you know, we can sell things for more. We display them well.
Right.
We market for you. We get people, we get the shoppers there. We handle all of that, and then we just cut you a check. And the great thing is, too, you get to shop early if you're a consigner. So it's kind of a win-win. You get to get rid of some things, you get to shop and get first pick of other people's cool things, and it's really a neat little community that we've been able to, that's grown out of the sale, which has been fun.
Yeah, and it seems like y'all have created your own brand, so like if someone's wearing something, this has happened, like, oh, I got that from my sister's house. So you do definitely create that platform.
My favorite thing is when I'm at church or I'm at some event and three women are talking to me and somebody says, oh, I got this at your sale, and somebody says, like, this purse and that, you know, and everybody's like showing me all the fun things. And it fits their style, it fits, you find kind of what you're looking for.
I love how you guys definitely, like, y'all have incorporated stylizing into the event, using your Instagram, just helping people put things together.
Yeah, we've found that some people walk in and are intimidated just by the quantity.
Yeah. It's well organized, though.
It's a lot. And so we just try to put together outfits. So we have a top picks rack. So if we post an outfit on Instagram, we put it at the front rack, so that way if you're coming in and you're like, I want that jacket that I saw on Instagram,
that's
go
cool.
straight to it.
Well, it's a really highly anticipated event here in Abilene, and so I'm just excited to have you here. And actually, it's about a month away, right?
Yeah, a little over a month.
So as far as people who will want to consign, maybe it's their first time. I know you guys do really well telling them how to get it prepared, but now is the time to start preparing.
Right. We've opened registration for consigners. You can do that on our website, mysistershousesale.com. We try to make it really simple to walk you through the steps. You basically register to consign, get a consigner number, and then everything you do is online. So there's an online inventory system.
Amazing.
You enter your items. There's a voice activated option now, so you can just stand with your iPhone and it does it for you.
Did you guys get like a programmer to do that?
Well,
you don't have to say your secrets.
We can't do that. I don't do that. I'm not a programmer.
That's amazing.
We bought into a system that does this for consignment events.
Okay.
And they layer their technology into our website, and then we pay them for their services, because that's obviously beyond our scope.
Right.
So that just is a convenience for consigners.
That's incredible.
We try to make it as easy as possible.
Y'all have done an amazing job, just what you offer the community and your continuous pursuit with the research that you do to make this a better experience every year, and every event. It's just constantly growing and changing. So I'm going to jump into these questions and see what we can learn from you today. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this question. I just want to know, and I'm sure everyone wants to know, what caused you to start this business? Briefly.
That's a great question. So I'm a teacher originally.
Okay.
And I'm actually teaching part-time again for the first time this year. So that's a side note. But I I was staying home with small children, and I was shopping at a local consignment sale for children, Dittos for Kiddos.
Oh,
And I had volunteered there, and then I'd also done that in Fort Worth before we moved here. There was a local consignment sale for children there as well that I was involved in. And my sister was, she had just had a baby, so she was trying to stay home, and we were kind of both talking about, what we could do to help contribute, but also not work full time.
Yeah.
And one of the things I had thought about for years was I love the consignment concept.
Yeah.
And I loved being able to shop that way for my children, and I just wished I had something like that for myself.
Right.
And so I said, what if we just try it? So we met with Carol Houston, who's the owner of Dittos for Kiddos.
Oh, okay.
She kind of talked us through how she started, and hers started very small, very simple. And the best advice she gave us was, don't go big until you're ready. Like, start small. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to do what I'm doing because I've been doing this for 10 years.
Right.
You
don't have to start with 1,600 square feet.
Right. And so we started very small. We found a space downtown. Our first website was a blog. That's going to date us a little bit. It was about 8 years ago.
Well, now you need that blog back, actually.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's back to
yes.
blogs. But it was a blog because that's what we knew how to do. And we used Facebook. Instagram wasn't a thing really yet.
Yeah.
And so
I know that.
And we talked to everybody we knew about it. And our first sale was, we thought, huge. We just were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe all these people came. We everybody hand wrote their tags, and we totaled them on adding machines and cut the tags off at checkout. I mean, it was very simple.
Right. And actually, one of my questions for you is, what was your first pop-up event like compared to the ones that you're doing now?
Right. I couldn't have processed how much we were going to have to grow. But that would have overwhelmed me then, and I might not have started it.
Do you have a number of how many consigners you had at your first?
Our first event probably had 100 consigners.
That is pretty big for your first one.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
We didn't have home goods yet.
Right.
And people were just getting started, so they weren't bringing as much. It was a much smaller sale. We rented out the space at 181 Pine, and it wasn't full. I mean, it was full. It felt full at the time, but then we got to the point where we were busting out of that space, and then we went across the street, and then we were busting out of that, and then we were like, we got to get one big building.
When I remember talking to you about the round building, and it was just, and there's an expense, when you're doing events, 2 venues, and so you've got to make sure that your profit margin isn't going to be too intruded on, and so, but y'all have done really well in that space.
It's been better being out there because there's not the parking issues.
Right.
We have all our volunteers in one location. There's one checkout, which I think helps people be able to shop easier. And so, and your whole family can, there's men's, there's shoes, there's jewelry, there's home goods, so you all find something.
It's amazing. And when I don't get to make it, I am like devastated. If
Thank you.
I don't get to make it, it's because I have young children right now.
I know.
It's so amazing to see how much you guys have grown. And so with that, I have this next question, which is kind of like a threefold question. And so that would be, what has been your greatest challenge, your greatest lesson, and your greatest reward in doing this business? I know it's a lot.
Okay. So I think the greatest challenge has been that we sort of jumped into owning a business without a lot of business experience. My sister and I were both teachers. We didn't even take a single business class in college.
So you're talking about the financial aspect? Or?
Yeah, just the daily grind of running business. Getting a DBA, figuring out how to handle your taxes and your finances, and also just kind of managing how and when to grow. Like, at what point can you afford to grow?
I can relate to that.
When do you need to stay small? Like, just figuring out the investment aspect of how and when to grow. I think that's tricky. There are times when you have growing pains as a business owner because people are involved, and that's great and you want that, but then do you take the jump to do the next thing that costs money? Is that going to pay off?
Right.
So those things are hard. I don't have really a math brain. So I'm more the creative minded and think and so deciding those things is challenging. As far as the biggest reward, I think that the thing that I didn't expect when we started this business that has been the greatest blessing is the community and the friendships that have grown from it.
Yeah.
And the consigners that we've had since the first sale. So this will be our 16th sale.
Wow, I should have asked that from the beginning.
So some of these women have been consigning with us since the very first sale, and they've become friends, they've become family. We have a great time together.
Y'all's
And
kids have kind of grown
our
up
kids
together.
have grown up in
That's
it.
crazy.
And so,
yeah,
when we started, I mean, the first 3 or 4 sales, Kate and I were, one of us was pregnant or nursing every, so we didn't, it was crazy.
Yeah, you were that voice of hope to me when I'm kind of in that stage. So, yes.
So, I mean, that's been really neat. It's just the community involvement and support. So Kate, my sister, my business partner, moved to Arkansas.
Just this past year.
Over the summer.
Yes.
And we kind of gathered our managers together, which we have a really strong group that has been very invested from the beginning. And we just said, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if we should fold or keep going.
Yeah.
And they resoundingly said, like, we have you. We're going to help you.
That's
We're going to do this. It's important to us. What can we do? And they were so supportive that it just kind of blew me away. I would not have predicted that when we started, that people would be that invested and involved.
Well, I think maybe not only them, but even the public would be devastated if they were like, "This is if we had to hear this is the last, my sister's house."
I would be so sad. So we've been able to keep it going, and Kate's helping from Arkansas long distance, and I'm kind of picking up the pieces. And then, like I said, we have a great, amazing team that steps up and helps make it happen. So
that's cool.
I'm so grateful for the people.
Yes. With all of that said, what would be the greatest lessons that you've learned? What's something valuable that you've taken from, doing business these last, how many years now?
8 years.
8 years.
I think being open to change.
Yeah.
Being able to say that what we were doing doesn't work anymore.
Yes.
And it's okay to change.
That's awesome.
It's okay to give yourself the freedom. Like, there was a sale where we had to sit one out. Like, we just couldn't, with job changes.
Yes.
With job changes and all kinds of stuff, we were like, we're not going to have a spring sale.
Yeah.
And trusting that was okay, and kind of giving yourself the grace to do what you need to do for your family first, so that your business is a blessing and not something that's weighing you down.
Right.
So that's one thing I would say. It's still a work in progress. It's still changing, and I have to give myself the grace to let it do that. And then another thing I've learned, and I think this is maybe something that I'm learning, keeping up with the platforms as they change and grow is baffling to me.
So we're specifically talking about, I'm just going to guess,
marketing,
social media, which every single app in and of itself, like, it's not about like, oh, I'm just too old for this. No, it's like everybody's trying to keep up with how much they update and the new features and how to utilize that.
We've had, since we started, like I said, our first website was a blog, which that lasted for a couple years, and then we were like, we need a website, so we created a website, and then that website didn't hold, so then we needed a bigger website, and so we've had to reinvent our websites, we've had to reinvent our social media marketing, we've had to reinvent, which marketing outlets we use. Like, are we going to use the newspaper? Is that even effective?
Over 8 years.
Over 8 years.
The marketing is
it's like changes every year. And so I think the hardest thing for me is to stay relevant, but also not try to keep up with what
they're doing in LA right now.
What they're doing in LA.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's all accessible, right? Like,
Yes.
I can see what people who are doing amazing things in LA are doing. I can see it and go, well, that's cool. Maybe I should try to do that. That's not realistic, and there's teams of people doing that, and it's me at home with awesome and mom.
And for local people, Abilene, I think it's important to mention, like, Abilene is a unique market in and of itself on how we reach our followers and stuff.
I should also mention, like, our consigners range in age from like teenagers to women in their men and women in their 70s, 80s. I mean, so
do that targeted ad.
just very our target market is so diverse that to figure out what they're looking at, like how are we reaching, so we've got to reach college students in this way, we need to reach our boomers in this way, and we need to also put ads in the paper for, you know, I mean,
Wow.
it's a diverse group.
Yeah.
So that is something it's still evolving.
I'm right there with you.
Trying to do better.
Just in this conversation, myself, I'm so encouraged, and I hope that people watching are encouraged, because I can relate to so much of what you're saying, just as an event, a biannual event as well. So
Right. And getting the word out. I mean, it's an event, so they have to know when it is.
Yeah. And there's so many details, like there's so many things for them to know, like perks and all the things, and putting that in simple
and consigners, how to get consigners. So
yeah.
We
are doing an amazing job.
I'm trying.
No, it's awesome. It's so exciting. And so one of the things that I love about you and your sister and what y'all are doing, y'all are personal inspiration and encouragement to me, because y'all are, running this awesome business. You're trying to stay just progressive and continuing to develop who you guys are and what y'all offer. You care about your people. I'm just going on and on. But you're mothers, and y'all have children, and y'all have done it. I just love looking to y'all. How do you find balance in the craziness of life? We were just talking about that,
right?
With also owning your own business. You mentioned, you're also working as a teacher now. You have 3 kids.
3 kids.
Your husband's,
Yeah, my husband's in school.
Yeah.
So there's that. I think some point I had to decide, and maybe it was my husband might have pointed this out to me, that when my work is at home, it's real easy to kind of have it always be.
There's always something to be doing.
There's always something I could be doing, always some reply that I need to make, either on email or a DM or a Facebook message that I need to reply to. And I do need to do those things.
Right.
Those consigners are waiting, the people are waiting to hear how do I do this? And so having some boundaries with time, so that family feels like I'm giving them my full attention, and they are what I'm thinking about, and that I'm not always, hold on.
And
so that has been hard to learn, and I hope I'm doing better. I
feel like you're me right now. You're just talking me right now.
I have to be intentional about it, and certainly when the sale is closer, I'm not as good at it.
Right.
But I think that's okay. I want my kids to see work ethic. I want them to see that this is my business, and I'm running in it that has a cost, and they're willing to help. I have kids now that are old enough to come volunteer, which is really fun.
Really cool.
So I love that they're involved in that way. But just trying to have boundaries so that it doesn't eat up where I'm not doing anything well.
Right.
So when I'm with my family, I'm trying to be with them, and when I'm working on business, I'm trying to focus on that, so that I don't just feel like I'm spread thin at everything I'm doing, and that I'm not giving anything my full attention. And then add teaching to that, and that's a whole other thing. Really. So it's a busy time right now.
It's a season.
It's a season.
that's what helps me, is just remembering that season, and that there's things that will pay off, and things that get easier or a different kind of hard, like we were talking about.
Right. It's a season. And I have meltdowns, and that's okay too. Sometimes I just cry, or I just drink way too much coffee. Or
y'all hear that? It's okay to cry. It's okay.
Go get your Margarita Miguel's with some girls. Laugh a little.
And the thing I think that is so tricky about what you were just saying is that it's kind of a catch-22, in that you started this business for your family, and so
that you could be home.
Or that you can have the flexibility. And I think for me, it was hard to realize, like, I'm not just a stay-at-home mom. I'm a work-from-home mom. I'm not just a part-time. These are full-time hours I'm trying to squeeze into, like, all hours of the day.
Right.
And so the flexibility is great. Being intentional with the times where it's just all about, my daughter, and not this notification over here,
Right. It's hard.
So,
it's hard to figure that out. Yeah. And I really do think we're blazing new territory, because there has not really been a precedent for this, where you have your phone with you at all times, where you could work when you're at the park. You hear the ding. And so I think that's kind of new, and it's a slippery slope. And so, I don't know. I think that's a big thing that a lot of moms, especially moms who are business owners, are trying to balance.
And I think also there's these traditional business owner positions where you can be a member of the chamber
Right.
you know, and get that community and get that networking. But when you're a work from home mom, you can't make those 8 a.m.s and those 5 p.m.s or those, whatever meetings. And so your network is primarily on social media, which is awesome because it's like sky's the limit. You can network with people in different cities and everything. But it still feels kind of isolating. That's why I think this is so neat that we get to just hear from
absolutely.
you and like what your day-to-day is and the things that you have to deal with. The things that other business owners who are moms are also trying to process and deal with, this really intense overlapping for the flexibility. It's an awesome trade, but it's tricky. So,
it is. And I think, I certainly think we all need to be each other's biggest champions.
Yes.
It's hard, and we don't know what we're doing half the time, and we're just figuring it out.
And that's what I love about y'all. I'll run into you at Starbucks, and I'm like, oh, and you're just like, it's going to be okay. I love that.
It's going to be okay.
All right, so I have a couple more questions, and I feel like this one might be for people who have already been doing business. For someone who's been in a business and they're struggling on whether or not they should continue doing it, or should they push through, what is the best advice you can give to someone who might be having a hard season in their business?
I would say if it still brings you joy, if it brings you more joy than stress, fuels you or gives you energy or passion, or that you can focus on the people that you're blessing or helping, or whether you're creating and the people that are enjoying your work. If you feel like that is outweighing the frustration, then maybe power through.
That's awesome.
And if it's reversed for you, the stress and the frustration are starting to cloud the joy and the creativity, then maybe it's time to let that be a hobby for a season, and maybe you pick it back up later. Again, I don't really have a lot of good answers.
So that's amazing.
I just
that was really good. I was like, this is a hard
grace.
question, but
I just want to say we should all give ourselves some grace to let things ebb and flow. There's different seasons of life. There's different family things going on. There's different financial situations that change through the years.
Yeah.
And so there's no one way that you have to run a business. People are starting stuff up left and right.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed by creativity and enthusiasm, and there's so much energy among kind of the young generation, and I'm not including myself in that, like younger than me.
Social media can kind of, put on that like facade, maybe.
That's true. People put their best selves forward.
Which actually segues into our last question, which is, what would you say is one of the biggest misconceptions about owning and operating a successful business like My Sister's House? Because you guys have built reputability, and people look at you and they say, like, wow. So
I didn't know that.
Yes, totally.
So misconception. This is an easy one for me to answer, because I think people assume when they come in and see 16,000 square feet and they see how many people are checking out, they think, whoa,
cha-ching, like
we are making bank. But the reality is that a large percentage of that goes to the consigners.
Right.
And then there's
the top
building fees, which are astronomical. And then there's rentals. And then there's marketing and printing and taxes for small businesses. It's hard. And so the reality is that it is successful, and that I feel like it is still worth my time.
Right.
But it is not sending us on trips around the world. It's a cushion for our family. It helps offset some expenses that we have.
Provides that flexibility.
Flexibility. Sometimes I have to focus on the service it provides to the community, or the way it's a creative outlet, or the fact that I'm able to get my clothes there. I have to focus on the
Why am I but why, right?
Yeah,
we talk about that a lot.
I sometimes have to shift my focus to the non-tangible perks, or the non-tangible thing, because the bottom line sometimes is a little bit less than what people assume.
Right.
And I think that's true for a lot of small business owners. I don't think that, I just think that's a misconception. That you see something running and you think, wow, they are doing awesome financially.
Well, even the website and, all the other, like the month-to-month business operational expenses. And I think that's why, when you're working with a lot of people and say, like, your rates change, as you grow, your expenses grow.
Yeah.
So that's, it's not always easy to present change, when you have to, like, up numbers a little bit, but
Right.
that's
Yeah.
you're doing the best for your business. For
You're trying,
the
and at the
consignors.
end of the day, you have to make it worth your time.
Yeah, that's
And if
yeah.
it's not worth your time, then it doesn't help anybody, right? Because
Right.
you can't keep doing it. So I think that's probably a common misconception. People find out that I do a sale twice a year, and they're like, "That's so great! You only have to work like 2 weeks a year. 2 weeks a year, that's awesome." And I'm like, "Well, I mean."
Sorry, I'm laughing so hard at that because it's like a year-round thing. Because like you're like, oh wow, we just ended it, and now
We started up.
I knew. Yeah,
I mean, I have seasons where I take breaks for sure.
I'm
but-
thinking like, wow, 2 times a year. That's a ton. That's a 10 load of work. But I guess I have a little bit of insight. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for just being here today and just sharing a little bit about your business and who you are and your journey. Before we go, I'd love to just talk about the dates again
Yep.
for consigners and the actual sale. This is one of the biggest sales. What is it known for? Like the biggest Texas?
It's
It's huge.
largest women's or adult consignment sale in Texas.
Texas.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. I'm
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
with the largest consignor.
Oh, well. There's plenty of children's ones that are huge. There's just not a lot of people doing kind of this niche market that we have.
This
so.
awesome trendy event. There's
Yeah,
not
it's
a lot
fun.
of people doing it. It's awesome. So
It's
yeah,
fun.
thanks for being here. But yeah, tell us a little bit about the pre-sale coming up in April.
Okay, so people can register a consign on our website, mysistershousesale.com. There's just a little button at the top that says register. You can click that and it'll walk you through the process. You can follow us on social media to kind of get updates on Facebook and Instagram.
I will put that in the
MSH
comments.
sale. Yeah. Most important thing is the sale's in April. You can start cleaning your closets out if you want to consign. If you just want to shop, that's awesome too. Our pre-sale for consigners is April 17th. And then we have a pre-sale for military, university, and teachers.
That's nice.
Yeah, a little
That's
perk.
helpful.
You just have to
Mhm.
bring your ID. On Wednesday the 18th, you can also, if you don't fall into one of those 3 categories, but you want to shop before the public, you can pay $5 at the door to get into the pre-sale. So
Nice.
that's kind of a new thing we
Yeah,
added because we had
yeah.
a lot of people saying, "Oh,
Like I would
I
totally
wanna
pay that.
go,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So you can do that on Wednesday, April 18th. And then we open to the public for free on April 19th. It's a Thursday, and the 20th. And then on the 21st,
Wow.
we'll do half price. In the past, our half price sale has always been on Sunday, but we're trying to move out a little early in the spring
wow.
and be out on Sunday. So our half price sale is going to be on Saturday, the 21st.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Don't miss it. We're going to be out by Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, don't miss it. Awesome.
It's fun.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Summer. And yeah, I'll see you there.
Yay!